Hello and welcome. I'd like to start this video off by dressing the fireplace for those of you that have asked about it. It looks like this. Most of the paint is off. It's off all of the facade. It's just not off of the mantelpiece. This is heavily stained, so we kind of just don't really know what to do to make it not stained, because it's not supposed to be that color. It's supposed to be like this. And even this is like dingy, not like white. So I don't mind it being like a weathered, yellow marble situation, but this is what it looks like. We've bought other stuff to try to address it, and we just don't feel like dealing with it. So we're just living with it like this until one day we're like, ooh, let's do that. But it's just like too annoying. We just don't feel like dealing with it. I wanted to make a video to help you with design decisions. Sometimes we get stuck, and these are choices that you can make that you can't go wrong. It's the whole point of the video. You can't go wrong with these options, and they're not boring. It's just providing you with a slightly more neutral space, kind of like neutral options that will fit into any space. It'll make sense if you keep watching. So I feel like a lot of these things kind of all tie into each other. Basically, what I'm trying to provide you with is the denim of interior design. What's the thing that just, always goes with everything, no matter what? Even if it's a color, it still acts as a neutral, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna jump right in. The first thing is brown upholstery. Basically, if you're trying to decide on a sofa color, or maybe you already have like a white sofa and you want some accent chairs, I think you cannot go wrong with brown upholstery. Will just kind of always be in. It'll never go out because it's not a trend, and it's also not like a faux pas, it's just always gonna be a solid color to go with, tie into any space. So yeah, I think brown upholstery, especially like a brown sofa, it makes a statement. It's not boring, but it'll always look good. The next thing that I think you can't go wrong, a wooden dining table. Wooden dining tables will always be in, especially if you keep it in this like medium tone wood. Throw some mid-century modern chairs. You can't go wrong with mid-century modern chairs, like just like even a traditional Seska chair. A wooden dining table will always go with everything and never go out of style. I do think you have to keep the legs pretty simple. I think everything about like the details should be minimal, simple, straight legs and classic. Don't get too intricate. It's just always gonna look good. That being said, if you're trying to select a light fixture for any room, bedroom, living room, dining room, doesn't matter, a paper lantern light fixture is obviously inexpensive unless you're getting Noguchi Akari ones. They're generally always inexpensive, and they just always look good. They look good in any space, and it's just like simple. The light is always really glowy. It doesn't overpower the space. It doesn't make like too much of a statement, but it's pretty to look at. I'm gonna be a broken record, you guys. You can't go wrong. I just think that'll always look good in any space. I feel like I've been talking about this since day one. Red Persian rugs, you can't go wrong. They're always gonna look good in a room, especially if you want to keep everything else pretty neutral. The red Persian rug is what's going to make your space look intentional. And they just always look good. I love them in a living room. I love them in a bedroom. I love them in a bathroom. It's just the easiest way to bring color into your space without having to commit to something that's like, super, like that could date at any time. Persian rugs are never gonna look dated. They're always gonna look classic, rock and roll, all of the above. They're just always gonna look good. And again, I just think that if you have a neutral space or you're afraid to commit in other areas, you know, you don't want to do some bold pattern fabric on your sofas or chairs or whatever, this is where it'll just always tie in. I just consider Persian rugs a denim. They just are a denim. Do you know what I mean by that? It's just like they go with everything. Last but not least, and this one might seem obvious, you can keep your bedding neutral. You can keep it, you know, like a cream or a linen or, you know, pretty much white. But again, as long as you kind of like follow the previous guidelines of having a Persian rug in there. Or at least something have like a pop on your bed. But like, let's say, you know, you love Piglet in bed, but you just can't commit to having gingham bedding. And even sometimes, like, I have striped bedding. It's very bold. I'll insert a photo. But I do think sometimes I'm like, ugh, I wish I could have neutral bedding. Or I wish I did have neutral bedding to, like, swap this out every once in a while. It's not practical for my lifestyle because I have 3 animals, and having something with, like, a bold color, you don't notice the fur as much. For me, it's just, like, a lifestyle choice that like I can't have neutral bedding. But if you can, if you don't have pets that shed or whatever, and you want to have neutral bedding because you can't commit to a pattern or like a bold color or something, go for it. It's not boring if you have a Persian rug. Yeah, they all tie in together. So that's just kind of scratching the surface of my design go-tos when people are having a hard time deciding. Like, I take clients in these directions all the time to try to help them make a decision. You know, these are classics for a reason. And there's so many other categories that we can get into. I know this video is short, but I think 5 good staples is a good place to start that I think will always look good in every space. And honestly, all these things look great in one space. Like, these can all live together. So yeah, I guess if you guys like this one, then I'll do another one and expand on this topic a little bit more with other areas. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. I know this was short and sweet, but trying to get to the point these days, you know? I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna stop saying Sundays because clearly I can't commit. Okay, love you, bye.